What?
Sergio.
That's saying.
Yamiado, Sergio.
All right. Yeah,
Sergio Chan tournament no ekosona Sergio interestingly last group games no na various teams no eboba and over the weekend yeah some couple of score lines I think they have some of the teams are more qualified who were one of the co-hosts like this who were Kenya. They had a 1-0 win against Zambia and Sergio and no na ewo on the screens na man for eheno and the game was very very tough na Avram Grant in Mante so but it wasn't meant to be, and Kenya had the last laugh by scoring just a goal to nil. So Ama Kenya are top that group, no, that is Group A, no. So Kenya have topped the group and they've secured their spot into the last 8 a year quarterfinals now. Now Morocco, so Morocco in Kenya, very tense game when Kenya went down by 10 men, but still Lomo it me manage Enya that 1-0 win, and that game ne boamo after the second game no amutimi remu and Sergio after that game no na Kenya etimidia so abebo the last game, and so Sergio Group A no abane wiye. Apart from that, another game I ba so was the game between Morocco and DR Congo. So now DR Congo were having 6 points and then Morocco was also having 6 points. So it was a battle of Yobetimi awene no any opportunity to make it into the next stage of the competition, and Morocco made sure they won by 3-1 and Sergio that one no it means so I'm a Moroccan team no any that opportunity. So Sergio Morocco ND second in that group, Kenya topped the group and then Morocco came second. So those two teams, you know, in Alpha Group A are more qualify into the next stage of the competition, the quarterfinals of the ongoing Chan tournament.
Okay.
Make 3 nations, Oka Kenya, Oka Uganda, and of course Tanzania. Also Ekabum hosti. The other game and also Ebaso was that game between Burkina Faso Sergio over the weekend against Madagascar. And Sergio going to the last game, that was Group B, no. Already Tanzania they almost buki almost spot into the next stage because now after 3 games no more winning in anti no more buki almost spot. So Madagascar was having 4 points. And of course before that game now Mauritania they omo games away. No more bomu 4 games. The reason why and says you some of the groups now a minimum of 5 teams. So if we have 5 teams in a group, what it means will be a 4 games each. But to the bia see a boy ube say one of the teams no at a standby. So going into the last game in that group, say Burkina Faso against Madagascar. Now Mauritania almost 7 points no more bomu game away. But now Madagascar, no, it was that game against Burkina Faso, and they needed that win so badly because now Amonso was 4 points plus 1, and the Mauritanians was 7 points plus 1. So just a win for Madagascar would make sure say Omube secure that spot, no, and they were able to have that 2-1 win over Burkina Faso. So Sergio and also Madagascar ebe D second in that group. So Omone Tanzania and I qualify. And Group C ebe urem the likes of South Africa, Algeria mo, and Uganda be uremu and Niger. So at the end of the day, who qualifies from Group C? Then of course, Ochina yakwako de yeni edi yakwako 2 kwesi apia nene mrante the Sudan and the Nigeria group nene see by close of tomorrow they say you all the quarterfinalists that move into the last 8 of the Chan tournament. Quickly say you Ghana for more over the weekend. I think it's a very very impressive. Friday now Premier League Chassis at Anfield. Semenyo, despite being racially abused by a Liverpool fan, Sergio, he stood his way out and he was able to secure 2 goals on that occasion on Oteka Mienukra before say Liverpool. Edimembanya the 3rd and the 4th goal. Sergio so brilliant from Antoine Semenyo, and I think say a shame crying. Last season on your double numbers in terms of goals, 11 goals. So Sergio o penny wa Chassis na e say you bet me improvement na the numbers na kwa bro 11 goals now. Unya that was 2024 2024-2025 season I call so last year no so season no ashas here this was how Antoine Semenyo scored the 2 goals no over the weekend England when Bournemouth played Liverpool in the first game of the season. Of course Kudus assist no so Sergio and also Baso when Tottenham Hotspur hosted Burnley almost free relegation aba in that and I think say fashion out to me about those pull out no Richarlison suma didn't Sergio after that pull out now just one touch and quickly how the first goal came and of course the Caesar kick now Richarlison and my mom for Kai that game when Brazil played the last World Cup in Qatar when they won by 2-0 against Serbia. So Sergio Richarlison so madeni efe after Kudu Sergio Oko Championship Brandon Thomas Asante over the weekend scored for Coventry City. Sergio Coventry City last season they had the opportunity of playing the the relegation playoff and Sergio omu beni mupa it was in that last game against Sheffield and now omu lose here. Now they were so close to getting the opportunity to make it into the Premiership. Frank Lampard and leaded the team no and now over the weekend Omone Derby County they won by 5-3 at a point in time class Sergio no more formed by 3-2 and this was how Brandon Thomas Asante leveled the scoreline and it ended up at 3-3 at that time and of course the Coventry City had of opportunity of adding 2 goals and also ended 5-3 in favor of Coventry City. Sergio over Germany in weekend omo yet to start their league but near course the DFB Pokal and of course we had Ransford Yeboah Königsdorfer scoring from the side SV Hamburg aba back into the Bundesliga a few we omo DFB Pokal no mo no da form by a goal to nil last minute 90 minutes plus and omo take and Ransford Yeboah the second goal no count after extra time so what it means say Hamburg are qualify into the next stage of the DFB Pokal na koso Germany. Sergio free honum na oko Netherlands Ibrahim Sadiq was also on target for the club AZ Ekma omone new side amosoba Eredivisie no meka FK Volendam and it ended 2-2. Ibrahim Sadiq who was part of Coach Park Fabin's team na call India that under 17 tournament in 2017 he was on target. This was in the header now or share over the weekend. That was Ibrahim Sadiq go Aibas over the weekend. Sergio Jonathan Tete former Hull City striker also was on target for the club MK Maribor omoni FK Bravo about 3-3. Sergio in that game 2 Ghanaians scored. The first goal came from Eric Taylor scored and at a point in time after say Eric Taylor that was equalizer and Jonathan Tete the bako ka ho e mani koye 2-1 but they sat down for FK Bravo for no to equalize and that game ended 3-3. That was how it ended Slovakia league no Jonathan Tete was on target and Eric Taylor long drive of shorter after say receiving pass na and or share that goal no. This was how Eric Taylor scored the goal no the game no and of course Jonathan Tete also added another one I acquired 2-1 but unfortunately for FK Maribor they sat down for FK Bravo to equalize and it ended 3-3 south side on Sergio Oko Norgeland Denmark Prince Amwaku Jr. 18-year-old boy Sergio Norgeland omo unveil no omo setup no alongside there is another guy a friend Awal Mohammed and then Caleb Yirenchi crowd here Otuado Emani the recent Unity Cup Black Stars Echo Boy London was part of the players on board that game against Nigeria and of course Trinidad and Tobago. He was also part of the team on board that game no and this was how Prince Amwaku Jr. scored the goal Norgeland Omone FC Copenhagen over the weekend but unfortunately they lost by 2-1. Sergio Uko Sweden Ezekiel Alado also a goal but unfortunately they lost by 4-2 but Ezekiel Alado scored the 5th goal of the season. Who's a Sweden there Sergio omo calendar no yet said ye share from August no omo ya na share from April March mo Sania Basia around be October November no mo wi nti omo season no because this was how Ezekiel Alado scored the goal. And of course, Joseph Pencil was also on target for the club. LA Galaxy, unfortunately, they lost against Inter Miami over the weekend. They lost by 3-1. But Joseph Pencil and a share, they go. No, this was how the build-up started. He dribbled 2 players and already shared that goal. So, some couple of goals, and I think a very good for Ghanaian players over the weekend. Going into next month, and you have 2 World Cup qualifiers, and there are injury concerns, and apart from that, playing time of some of the players, like getting some of us worried. Ali Dusedu Onyanye fully fit, and it's likely the next call up. The same also applies to Ernest Nananuyama. Also Leon, the injury law of no manso no doso kakra. So likely say behuno. And some of them playing time. Mohamed Salisu Seju Monaco. Nan saying playing time now a lesson. Even a chassis from last season. Omo pushi Winfred Sengo Ebeka Tilo Kera. Ntina a man in numbers in terms of playing time form. Even over the weekend they used Christian Mawisa and of course new boy Eric Dyer, former Tottenham, former Bayern Munich guy. So but Abdul Samed Salis came in the second half. This week Majid Fashimeru couldn't feature. Some of the players in the Afena, especially Uko Siriano and La Liga, Afena, some of the guys pick your pieces. But after 2 games, next month Mali and Chad. And those games are very, very crucial to our chances of playing in the next World Cup.
Awal Mohammed. Monday edition of Midfield Action.